How you doing? My name is Alan Laws. I'm with Direct Democracy Ireland. I was on the Clarie Byrne show last night, and on the show was Lorraine Higgins. Like myself, Lorraine was unsuccessful for Labour in getting elected in Galway, and myself, I was unsuccessful in Meath West. As Lucinda Creighton on the show later was unsuccessful herself in Dublin. Now, on the show, I had my hand up for the whole time. I wanted to make a comment, not only about the homeless situation that Erica was talking about earlier on, but also about the election coverage RTE had carried out over the course of the election. One of my complaints was I felt that the Right to Change movement, with the biggest amount of candidates, bigger than Fine Gael, bigger than Fine Gael, bigger than Labour, were offering people an alternative. We had over 100 candidates. I mean, it was never mentioned on RTE that I can remember that actually we were offered an alternative government on the Right to Change. So I raised that issue. I was cut down by Claire fairly quickly. Without moving on to the next question I would have liked to ask her, in the sense that when RTE were interviewing Jerry Adams, now remember, I'm not a member of Sinn Féin, but they were interviewing Jerry Adams and they asked him about Slab Murphy and what he thought of Slab Murphy, and rightly so. They should have asked Jerry about Slab Murphy. In a fair world, what we would have seen in a fair media, what we would have seen is RTE, they have their investigators, they would have then sat down Enda Kenny, and they would have asked Enda Kenny about his relationship with Denis O'Brien, and why Denis O'Brien, who had adverse finding against him in the Moriarty Tribunal, keeps on winning government contract after government contract. Now, if things were fair and the media wasn't biased, they would ask Jerry about Slab Murphy and they would have asked Enda about Denis O'Brien. And further to that, they would have also asked Micheál Martin, the leader of Fianna Fáil, whether he thought it was correct that the ex-Taoiseach Brian Cowan now works with Denis O'Brien, because of what it looks like to the general public is that Denis O'Brien has a toxic relationship with Fine Gael. Seems like he's he has an influence over them. And now, since he employed the ex-Taoiseach Brian Cowan, it looks like he has an influence over them also. So I would have liked Micheál Martin to be asked what his thoughts were on the relationship between the ex-Taoiseach Brian Cowan and Denis O'Brien. For example, look at in Britain. What if Rupert Murdoch had have employed Tony Blair? What would the English people have thought? So at RTE, if you're not biased, that's what you would have done. And Claire, that's what I'd like to have said in total, if given the opportunity on your show, which you didn't give us the opportunity. But if you want to come back after this video, please do, Claire. And thank you very much for listening. Take care.